Alright guys, I know it has been a hot minute since I've made a video, but I had some spare time, work's been a little slow lately, so you know what, I'll throw this out here. I also know that this is much different from some of my other reviews, mostly, you know, looking at superhero stuff, but I also take great interest in Warhammer, and especially recently, I have been interested in Warhammer. And so, today we are looking at the Joytoy 1/18th scale. What is this? This guy's got a whole name. Raven Guard Sergeant, I think it's Rychas? Something like that. Rychas. This is a really fun, goofy name. And how you're seeing him now is not how he comes out of the package. He comes with an alternate head, which I'll show later. But all the Joytoy Warhammer figures come with this nifty little platform stand. And that's that's just fine. But so they are a little bit fiddly in my experience. So we're gonna see how it goes with me behind the camera messing around with this. But yeah, I am not a huge fan of the McFarlane Warhammer stuff. Mostly because it's pretty scant on accessories, and I am a sucker for accessories. But yeah, here we have him in more of a sort of, well, we'll get into that later too. We have him in more sort of a neutral pose. I guess I'll give you guys a little bit of a history of the Raven Guard. So I'm sure if you are familiar with Warhammer 40k, you're familiar with the Emperor of Man and his megalomaniacal sort of conquest of the galaxy. And in order to help him, this God-man decided that he would make 20 sons to carry on his legacy and help him in dominating the cosmos. And one of which is, I want to say it's kid number 12, and that is Corvus Corax. And he's basically a melodramatic, hot topic man, and I love him for it, because Warhammer 40k, as grimdark as it likes to seem, is also chock full of irony and goofy characters. And I just love the aesthetic of the Raven Guard, personally. Like, you get that nice black, you get the white accents, and let me see if I'll get his gun out of the way here. Whoop. So with this figure, I'm pretty sure this figure is the 2.0 Space Marine body from Joytoy. Yeah, here we go. He's a little bit more of an open stance. You get a look at that skull there. Oh boy, yeah. I love Space Marines so much. But yeah, so here we have the logo there. You can see it's got a really nice silver paint job. And like, look at that detail on that helmet. That is wonderful. And I must say, I do think that these beaky helmets are a little bit goofy, but for the Raven Guard, it fits perfect. I'll show off the alternate accessories here in a sec. I just want to admire sort of the paintwork and the sculpting on this guy as it is. He's got these all these little pouches and stuff around his belt, and they're just connected. Let's see how easy I can show this. I'm always scared of breaking off the ball joint. They're just held in there with just little ball joints. And right now I have it so then, there we go. I'm not sure if that was audible or not, but it snapped into place. But they also have like holsters and stuff. Let me see if I can get his arm out of the way. Get that nice sort of imperial stamp with the ribbons of text. I don't know what the lore reason for that is, but I do think it's really funny that they just have like little ribbons with words on them pasted to their armor. But yeah, so that's sort of the round view. He's got his grungy old jump pack there, his pouches, this raven skull with some feathers, and originally he did have another one on this pauldron, but I got a little excited while switching out the hands, and I think it just kind of popped off. As you can see, it was just kind of glued in there. So, I just like to friction it back on when push comes to shove. I might install a magnet at some point, but yeah, you can see it's gonna stay on there for a minute until I... Oh, and it's holding on actually decently well right now. Alright, so there he is. We'll stand him there in a nice confident pose. And we'll take a look at his accessories. So in terms of just like straight up stuff that he comes with, I guess we'll just take the bolter. Oh, and there the pendant goes. Take the bolter out of his hand. Look at this. I love the guns in 40k also. Just big, chonky, 75 caliber machines. Take that hand off. Yeah. Get a look at the stock. But yeah, it just looks nasty and gnarly. It looks like you could bludgeon someone to death with this gun. Yeah, there's that. Oh yeah, it also has this sort of softer rubber strap that you could sling around his shoulder if you wanted. But the pauldron does get in the way of that. He's got this chain sword. Autofocus. There we are. He's got this chain sword. It wants to focus on him. He's got this chain sword here. It's got beautiful, beautiful sculpting and detail. And chain swords are one of my favorite things from 40k. It's because it's like, it's a sword but also a chainsaw. Like, what else do you need? It's got the little skull there. I'm not sure how it's coming across on the camera, but in person there's very clearly a golden skull. Yeah, so there's that. It also comes with a little, little pistol. Again, same as with the bigger bolt gun. It's just tasty. Just chonk. Sheer chonk. And then, in terms of alternate display parts, well, he's got this, well, I guess we'll just go ahead and pop this one off too. Ooh. We'll see if the joint wants to come with. It does. That's okay. But yeah. So here we have, he has one open hand. He has, oh, whoops. I smacked my keyboard. He has two trigger finger hands. And while as cool as this aesthetic is, it does not allow for much detail to be shown on the armor, which is unfortunate. I might hit it with a silver dry brush at some point. I don't know. But he also has two gripping hands. Two just like for the chainsword. And he also has 2 fists. Oh, nuts. I was actually watching a lore video before I started this. So that's what's on the TV right now. Shout out to Isiander and Coda. They are the only Warhammer stuff on YouTube that I actually can watch. Everyone else, I don't know, they just don't entertain me as much. But yeah, here's the fists. And he also has an alternate pouch holster without the gun for whenever you have the gun in his hands with that, which I think is a fun touch. He also has this alternate normal Space Marine helmet, which is very well painted, and it looks cool, but it's just, I don't know, the black on black is just a little bit too much for me. Plus, just the weathering on that beaky head, dude, can't be beat. Love it. Yeah, so we'll just, I'll pop this hand back on for him. And we'll give him, I don't know, a fist. And sometimes the accessories want to go on no problem, and sometimes it want to be a bit of a pain. We'll just see. You gotta put a little bit of force here. And I think that's on. I didn't hear a pop, but it doesn't feel like it wants to go on any further. So we'll get into our articulation here real quick. Let me make sure my boy's in frame. Alright. Move back a little. Okay. So, and we'll just start at the head. So he looks up. I think it's a double ball joint at the neck, at the base. He looks up about that much. He can't look down because of the beak, but if you have the other head on, I think he can pretty much bury his chin into the collar piece. So he's got double ball jointed torso. He's got, let's see if I can, there's a lot going on. I might be able to show off just the upper one. It doesn't do a whole lot forward. It does do a decent amount back. And then getting that to the lower one. The lower one goes that far forward and not too far back. So the two joints do work together really well. His arms will go out that far, which is kind of lame, because the way that the pauldrons are set up, they are on a, I'm not sure how well you can see that in there. They're on a little ring that goes around the joint that connects the shoulder to the torso. So, it's not free, or it is free floating, but it is to its detriment. But yeah, so they go out that much. You have an upper bicep swivel, nice and tight. You also have a butterfly joint. That far forward. Doesn't go back any. But yeah, so you get double jointed elbows. Get a nice bend out of that. What's that, like, I don't know. It's like 100 degrees. It's past 90, and that's what really matters. You get a double ball peg at the wrist. So most of the hands will have the same range of motion, you know, just like pivoting around. You can, if you want extra, you can move one and then the other, like that. But onto the legs, he will kick that far forward, which isn't bad for as chunky as he is. Move that far back, also pretty nice. Double jointed knees. He can almost kick his own ass. Granted, he does have a lot of padding and stuff there. And then he's got a double ball peg at the foot. And go forward like that. Or I guess back like that. And then forward like that. And, of course, crazy rocker. And he also has toe articulation. It's too much darkness. Can't focus on anything. Alright. So with all that put together, I really do like him a lot. Ugh. Well, I guess, should do a size comparison real quick, huh? Seeing as, it's a bit of an unorthodox scale. The figure, I want to say, stands around 5 inches tall. So we'll just bring out the SHF Goku right here for scale. And if you know anything about Space Marines, you know this is wildly inaccurate, but that's fine because they're not meant to be the same scale. But yeah, I'll show off my other boy, because I did get 2. Originally, I thought that this guy was going to be arriving on Monday, so I ordered him to futz around with in the meantime, so I'd have a feel for everything. And let me tell you, it did help a lot. But yeah, so this will be the guy I review next. But anywho, that is it for the time being. I missed you guys. I hope you guys missed me. I will try to upload whenever I can, but my girlfriend and I are moving house, and it's been crazy. We've been very busy the past few months. So yeah. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that YouTube shiz, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.